from a police officer stealing cash evidence from a detainee.
Where I knew where the money was, because I seen you kept going in between your legs. I seen you steal.
To arresting the wrong guy and scavenging for other reasons to justify their detainment.
The name that she put on there, whatever was on AIS, you know.
Yeah.
And a power trip that led to a deputy getting a lot of backlash on the news.
Okay, you're going to jail. Yep, you're going to jail, dude.
What?
What's that for arguing?
These are some of the most corrupt and unlawful cops who destroyed their careers. Starting with Officer Henry Chapman, who on March 14, 2024 was caught stealing cash from a detainee.
Go ahead and place that call. Put your phone on the top of it.
What am I doing?
You're being arrested.
to you. That's why I'm having you out.
So you are under arrest at this time. You have a warrant out for your arrest.
Officer Henry Chapman responded to assist another cop during a traffic stop involving a driver who was allegedly speeding and had an outstanding federal arrest warrant. The officer searched the detainee and found that he had personal property amounting to $7,911. The detainee clearly expressed his concerns about the cops handling the money he had on his person and noticed Henry over here was moving suspicious.
What is my money on the clearance right there, guy? What? I don't see that. I've never seen it in my life. What are you doing with my property then?
The detainee relayed his concerns to his brother that came to the scene, prompting his brother to demand that the officers give him the money. But Chapman refused, as collecting all the on-person belongings, including money, is a part of the protocol.
That's accountability, because when it comes to stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
The female officer counted the money to set the record straight that none of it has gone missing. But our detainee was a little smarter than they realized. He says that he heard a rubber band pop and demands that the other officers search Chapman's legs for money.
I heard the rubber band get popped.
8, 9.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to question you or anything.
Let me count it first. and
No,
then
can you look in between his legs real quick? I think he just put some more money in between his legs.
At this point, Officer Chapman is clearly feeling nervous. That's the same face YouTubers make in their thumbnails pretending to be shocked. This would be a perfect thumbnail. Our guy behind handcuffs knew Chapman had done something with his money and calls him out on his unusual movements in the car. As soon as the other officers take their attention away from him, Chapman starts moving strangely in the car more noticeably. The detainee is really handling his emotions well and resists any physical altercation with the police despite seeing through one of their colleagues' evil play.
No one's gonna take your money. She's gonna count your money. There's more money.
Him touch my money. And you
There's
guys
more
didn't
money
even
in here. You're saying that there's more money in here?
What I'm saying is he just touched my money and went through 3 different floor compartments, and I seen him put it in between his legs. I heard my rubber band.
And the truth shall set you free, is what they say. Opening the car door, the detainee immediately noticed his money tucked in the door pocket of the vehicle.
I'm not even gonna touch it. It's blue hundreds right here. It's all the blue hundreds are right there behind that receipt. Thank you. All that's my money.
Amazing handling of the situation by a guy undergoing a 1v3 with handcuffs. He was able to not get in more trouble arguing with police, and while getting his point across, this was a case of chess and not checkers. Following an evaluation of the evidence, Officer Chapman was arrested and charged with 1 count of embezzlement. On March 15, 2024,
Do you need anything?
No, I just want to apologize to everyone. I say, man, one of these things, dude. And I'm sorry.
the day after the incident, he resigned from his employment at CMPD. If you thought this cop was bad, wait until you see these cops arresting the wrong guy because he matched the name of a wanted person on their list, and then trying to find other charges to hide their big mistake. On October 16, 2021, Sylvester Hayes, a 27-year-old father, found himself in a shocking situation as he was just on the way to getting food for his children when Dallas police pulled him over.
I'll explain it to you. I know. Step out. I'll explain everything.
No, sir. Tell me why.
Officer Harris demanded that Hayes step out of his vehicle without providing a reason as to why. Hayes rightfully asked the concern for the stop, but when he refused to exit his car, Officer Harris threatened to use a taser if he didn't comply.
You're gonna get tased. Come on and step out.
Come on and step out, bro.
Come on and step out. Come on and step out. Come on and step out.
No.
Step out.
And then forcefully removed him from the car to cut all the small talk. The first responders saw that Hayes was carrying a gun, and the situation quickly turns violent as the officers forcefully remove the wrong suspect from his vehicle and pin him to the ground. Hayes can be heard screaming, "You are hurting my neck," and "You guys got your foot on my neck." Such force seems incredibly unnecessary.
Bro, what are y'all? Bro! Bro! Help! 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 Help!
The cops violently try to shove Hayes into their car, grabbing his neck and applying pressure on it to try and force his body in. This was brutal. It's the same treatment we used as kids to mess with our action figures, twisting and turning body parts which were not supposed to. Hayes refused to be pushed into the car, so the cops resorted to literally tying his legs together.
Help! 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 They hurting me! They hurting me! Help me! Help! Somebody help me! Stop! Stop! I'm a very intelligent black man. Stop! I don't care. Help me, man! Stop. You're the one acting close, y'all.
Hayes tries to explain that the weapon was legally registered and therefore they had no right to arrest him based on its possession. To Hayes, it seemed like they were trying to find other charges for a man they don't know is guilty yet. Hayes explains the situation to another officer who arrived late on the scene.
I got 4 kids that was waiting on me right now. They're hungry. They're hungry. I'm trying to go feed them, man.
Okay.
And that's it.
So that was the reason for contact for the stop. Okay.
Yes, I understand that.
Finally, someone willing to listen to what Hayes has to say in a calm and respectful manner. The officer ran Hayes' name through the system and finds out that there is another Sylvester Hayes whose first name is spelled with a Y instead of an I, and this other Sylvester Hayes was the man with a warrant of family violence.
Mr. Hayes, so, and I don't know all the story, but there is another Sylvester Hayes, right? Okay, so your last name is Hayes?
Hey, Sylvester Hayes is
S.
first. S-I-L-V-E-S-T-E-R.
Okay.
Officer Harris explains that the reason Hayes got pulled over was because he had committed a traffic light violation and was being arrested for having a similar name to another Sylvester Hayes who had a warrant for his arrest. The cops show clear worry for the potential that they might be in trouble and seem to be trying to get Hayes charged with resisting arrest to save their careers. Later, Officer Harris openly admits to there being a confusion between this Sylvester Hayes and the other Sylvester Hayes, making their violent arrest on an innocent man seem way more messed up than they realize until now.
She goes to AIS, and that's a cross-reference, and it pops up red. So she's like, okay. She kind of looks at it, but by that time we had already lost him. She's searching. She finds out that the name that she put on there, whatever was on AIS, had continuous family violence, a warrant.
This arrest cost Hayes his job as a security guard, and that would continue to wreak havoc on his life for the next 14 months. In the aftermath of the incident, Hayes has taken legal action against the Dallas Police Department, filing a lawsuit that alleges 2 counts of excessive force and 1 count of unlawful arrest. He sought a jury trial, punitive damages, and attorney's fees to hold the officers accountable for their actions and to seek justice for the physical and emotional trauma he endured. On September 14, 2023, a Lake County sheriff in Florida responded to what appeared to be an open or uncontrolled fire near an apartment building. As the deputy went to check out the large flames, he saw a man in a black hooded sweatshirt leaving the area on a bicycle near the apartment building. This hooded man was identified to be James Gresham.
Put the bike down.
Why? It's my bike.
Because I told you to put the bike down.
Why are you stopping me right now?
Because you're riding your bike with no fucking light on.
I'm riding it. I got
Put the bike down.
Light right here.
Dude,
My
put the
light
bike
was right
down.
here. I said no. Fuck
Put
that.
the bike down,
Call your
James.
supervisor.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. I'm gonna tase you, dude. Get on the ground, James.
The deputy proceeded to chase James down in his patrol vehicle and asked him to put his bike down as he was riding the bike without lights. When James rightfully refused to comply without being given a proper reason for the stop, the deputy started threatening James with a taser and demanded he get on the ground. The deputy put James in handcuffs, continues to badmouth and showing clear disrespect. When James asked to speak to the deputy's supervisor, the deputy refused and continued cursing out James and repeatedly calling him names.
This harassment's gonna stop.
Shut up.
Call your supervisor.
I am the supervisor. Shut up.
Amendment audit.
Yeah, try the Fifth Amendment. Shut up.
First Amendment audit. You have no reason to stop me right now.
Yeah.
None.
You're riding your bike when the
I
lights
had it
on.
Right there in my hand.
It's got to be on the
was
fucking
on
bike.
It was on the bike. I just took it off.
No, I just watched you right away
You didn't
when I
ride
rolled.
it.
The deputy is accusing James of being the culprit behind the large flames simply because he was riding his bike in the area. There was no evidence that James had anything to do with the fire, yet the officer detained him and threatened to resort to violence if James didn't comply with his demands. James's demands to speak to the supervisor was denied again. The use of such language by the deputy tells us where this is headed.
I want to talk to your supervisor. I want to see your supervisor.
What supervisor, James? You
I
think
want
we're
your
beck and call you?
Yes.
No.
First Amendment
No.
audit right now.
Go.
Yeah. First Amendment audit. You have no reason to stop me right now. You're in violation of my First Amendment rights, and my Fifth, and my Fourth, and my Ninth.
At this point, the cops seemed determined to charge James with anything. First, it was because he was riding his bike without lights. Then it was for fleeing the scene of the crime, which in this case is the large fire. Now it's an obstruction? The cops started making up excuses on the spot to try and charge James with something.
I told you already. I already told.
I don't have to answer the questions.
Yeah, you do. Okay. You're going to jail. Yep, you're going to jail,
For
dude.
what?
What's that for arguing?
what?
I'm asking you some basic information.
My name's James Gresham. You know my name.
I asked you what your date of birth was.
I don't have to answer your questions.
Yes, you do.
It's no longer about figuring out who started the fire, they just want James behind bars, legally. The sheriff wasn't charged with anything. It could be because James was known to have a history of resisting and obstructing law enforcement. He was also responsible for a multitude of crimes committed in Fernley.